back. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
Welcome back to the program here on CIL. Phil McCourt is Senior Vice President of Abakan and Associates. They are trustees in bankruptcy and proposal administrators, and they're online at abakhan.com. Phil, during the break, I asked if you would take the last couple of minutes of our program time tonight to talk about boomers. After all, you're on Boomer Life, sir. So let's talk a little bit, speaking specifically to CIL 650 listeners who are, by and large, boomers. What issues do we need to be most careful of as more and more of us are carrying debt into retirement?
Well, you don't want to have too much debt when you go into retirement. You want to be working. You want to have paid off your debt before you stop working, it seems to me.
Right, but more and more of us are doing that.
You know, I was thinking. What often happens is somebody is, 55. They've had a reasonably good job throughout their, they've had a career. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, boom, they're let go because, young people coming up or whatever.
And they'll work for half the price.
Or they're redundant, or, they find, and or maybe they're working for half the price. So all of a sudden they go from, I know, say they go from $80,000 a year down to $30,000 a year. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, it's funny how many people say that, I've got all this credit card debt because I used to be making, big bucks.
Right.
And that's why I've got all this credit card debt. Well, that's not why they got all the credit card debt, but they've been able to handle all the credit card debt because they've had all the...
They had the income to service it.
They had the income to service it. Now, all of a sudden, they're finding 55, and they're boom. They're down, and they can't. $30,000 will not make any kind of payment that would go against the credit card.
But they're still using the plastic as though they were making $80K.
But sometimes it gets to extremes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they're paying one credit card with another.
That's true. The old saying, robbing Peter to pay Paul, right?
Yes. But yeah, they're still. It becomes a habit. It becomes very much a habit to use the credit card. I need this. I need that. In a lot of cases, it doesn't have to be extravagant. It's not that somebody's living extravagantly. It's that, okay, I'm going to buy my groceries with my credit card today. Yeah. That kind of stuff. And then they get their however much money they're making every month, $1,800 or whatever, and they forget that they just, paid $100 for their groceries on the credit card, and they spend all the $1,800, and then boom, there comes the credit card debt, or credit card bill, and that's quite common. People forget. So the boomer people, all of a sudden, with the not having the job that they used to have, is a big deal.
Well, so the advice I'm inferring from your remarks would be scale it back. You've got to adjust things to the new reality. You can't pretend you're still living at the income level you once enjoyed if you're not making that money anymore.
Well, scaling back is actually kind of difficult.
No kidding. It's no fun, that's for sure.
Particularly if you already have a certain amount of debt that's sitting up there. Scaling back, you can scale back and reduce the increase in the debt, but you've got that big lump sum of debt that you have to deal with somehow.
So do boomers end up in the offices of Abakhan and Associates like every other age group filing proposals?
Every age group is affected. Certainly, boomers do. I signed up an 86-year-old the other day, and obviously not a boomer's parent, actually.
That's right. Yeah, you bet.
Because the boomer was assisting their daughter at that point was assisting. Got in touch with us actually, and through. But yes, boomers are certainly not exempt. I find them coming in quite a bit.
Well, I suppose the take-home from this conversation, I'm so pleased to be able to end it on this note, is in fact there is hope. There are professionals out there, trustees in bankruptcy and proposal administrators, like our friends at Abakhan and Associates, who are there specifically to help people who who are in serious debt problems, but who in many cases it's a pretty bleak outlook they're facing, and there are remedies and there is hope. and that's where it starts. A visit to Abakhan.com would be a great way. You can find out Phil McCourt's contact points, his phone number, email, all of that sort of thing, as well as the locations of the 5 offices around British Columbia. The website is Abakhan.com, and once again, that's spelled Abakhan.com. Abakhan's Senior Vice President is Phil McCourt. A pleasure to meet you, sir. Thank you for coming out. It's good to meet you.
Thank you for having me, Sterling.
We'll see you next time, right here on Boomer Life.